chorus. But on this one, I was thinking, I'll say all this shit, and then at the end, I'll say the chorus. Like one chorus at the end. But I was feeling pretty down. And the reason I was feeling down was because my dad, he got diagnosed with cancer. So I'm dealing with my dad having a really big issue, but I'm going back to the studio and I'm supposed to write something that helps move like the way we feel, and the way we see the world. And I'm trying to do this shit for you guys, but like, I don't really know what to say, so I'm cynical. And the reason I'm cynical is I was sitting in the room with my dad, and the doctor is talking to him about his cancer. And he's like, we're gonna hit it hard. We're gonna hit it with this chemotherapy. And we're gonna hit it with this chemotherapy. And like, my dad wasn't really buying it. It's just me and him and the doctor. And my dad stops the doctor and he goes, hey, you know, what does this really mean? The doctor looked at him and he says, you have 18 months to live. Now, if you've ever been in an elevator where you drop down and you feel your stomach, you know, your stomach fucking falls and that adrenaline goes through your body, that's what I was feeling. But it was like in addition to like everything going blurry, where I was like, oh my God, this is not happening. And if you haven't lost someone close to you, you're going to, and you're gonna understand what I'm saying. So I left that doctor appointment trying to build my dad up. Like, we're gonna do this, I'll get a different doctor, I'll fucking pay for whatever. And I'm like thinking that I could save it somehow. But the reality was that I couldn't. So I go back to the studio, and I'm trying to write this very first song with Delonge, our drummer. For the first time, he joined the band, and we were like doing some cool shit. But I was like, I wasn't feeling it. So I wrote all these words, and they were cynical. It was like, I don't really know what happens when we die, because I stay up really late at night to bring you guys things, to bring you messages, something of hope, something of optimism, something to make your life better. But on this shit, I really don't know. I didn't really spend any time wondering what happens when we die. So when this was happening, I was like, fuck. So I wrote all these words, pretty fucking skeptical that there's something beautiful, because at that time I was feeling pretty bad. Now, my dad, he didn't last 18 fucking months, he lasted about 6 months. And I remember that I was at his house, and he was with this, you know, a hospice where the nurse comes over and they're injecting morphine into his body. And he's laying in this bed in the back room. And I was so tired. And I go home and I fall asleep. I just needed like a break. And around 3 in the morning, I get this like electricity that wakes me up. It's like crazy. It's like euphoric. It's like a drug. It's like 1,000,000 volts of something that I've never felt before. And I wake up and I remember thinking there's like a light in the room. And I was like, what the fuck is in here? And right at that minute, my phone buzzes on my nightstand. I look over, and on my fucking phone, it says your dad just passed. And I was like, oh my God. So I pick up the phone and I call my sister Carrie, who is here tonight, right up there on the platform. And she's fucking awake. And she is like, I'm like, what are you doing awake? And she's like, I don't know, I feel something insane. I feel like I'm on drugs. And she takes a pause and she goes, I feel like I have a hug. I feel like someone's hugging me. And I said, I know. Dad just passed away, and his soul went straight fucking through me and straight through you, and this is what's fucking going on. I got in my car, I went right back to the house, and all these people were crying, and they're like, do you want to go see your dad? And I was like, I don't want to fucking go see his fucking body. He's not in there. He's somewhere else. I went to the funeral, and I said the same shit. You motherfuckers don't know what's on the other side. It's something great. And I felt it. And I know what I felt because when his mom, my grandmother, passed away, she was in hospice. I went home and took a nap at 4 p.m. and I woke up with the same fucking feeling, but it was a little bit smaller. It was like a little bit lighter. And I felt euphoric and I felt good, the same shit, but I didn't understand. And then right then my dad calls and I picked up the phone. He's like, what this fucking feeling was. So you know what I did? I went right back to the studio and I had this song, this fucking song, whereas I was like, I was skeptical. I didn't feel it. But now I fucking felt it. So I took that song off of the shelf where I didn't have that chorus, that last part. But you know what? I fucking had it now. I pulled it off the shelf and I was like, oh my God, there is something so great on the other side. And I would tell people at the time, this is like that force that creates stars. It's so insanely different to anything we've ever felt. And I felt it, and I feel like I felt it, so I can tell you guys about it. And so I wrote the end of this song, and it was like, oh my God, there's something great. And now my whole purpose with this band is like, hey, just so you guys know, with all of the pain, and with all of the shit that you go through, and everything that makes life so fucking difficult, I felt for a brief moment, I was like, this shit is fucking wild and incredible, and everything will be okay. That's what I meant.
Yeah! Yes!
So what do? I write some words, we finish the song, and all we can do is tell you the story behind it, and play it for you. Now, most people in a band will be like, I dedicate this to my father. Fuck that. I think my dad wants me to dedicate it to you. That you're gonna do just fine. No matter what comes your way, just remember that life is all about lessons. It's not about planning your future out, having the perfect job and the perfect family and you go to fucking the mall on weekends. It's not about that. It's about love, or the absence of love. And every decision that you make will literally dictate how the future goes. So I'm going to dedicate the song to you in honor of my father, my sister over there,